What's up, everybody? We have another game with the black pieces. We're rated 1720 against Cheating by Dua Lipa, rated 1717. So they open up with e4, d4. We play d6, followed by knight f6, attacking the pawn in the center, threatening to take it, so he will likely defend it with a knight. Let's see. He does not. Instead, he develops his bishop. What does this threaten? I guess a minor piece trade, which isn't scary. What's the drawback? Undefends his pawn, which I can't use right now, and most importantly, doesn't defend the central pawn. Now, normally I would just take it, but a 1700 doing this is insane on move 3. So am I falling for something? You have to assume you're gonna fall for something. However, like, I didn't move my position, so how can I not be solid? Like, I didn't move anything, so what weaknesses can I possibly have? I moved this pawn, so theoretically these two squares are this diagonal, but you have this pawn, so there's no way he can possibly have anything. Also, this comes with an attack on the bishop. I think he just thought, like, he was on autopilot. I develop, he develops, but hello? How can his 1700? This is crazy. Although I've done it too, like, if you're watching TV on the side, like you're watching TV and playing, and you're just making the opening moves quickly, or you're, doing anything else and playing. This is easy to just blunder into. So he doesn't hang his bishop. I thought he was going to resign, but he'll play on. So he just moves his bishop out of the way. It doesn't threaten anything, and he just doesn't want me to capture it. So I'm just going to continue with development, I guess. It's just funny what he did. I was going to try to... I guess I'm going to go G6 so that I can fianchetto. Because if I move my E pawn, it's the diagonal's blocked. So he hits my knight. That's what this threatens on F3. The drawback is it weakens this diagonal, and it takes away the square from the knight. So I need to move my knight. Let's just bring it back home. Seems reasonable enough. And I'm up a pawn. He probably wants this as a lever pawn to start attacking me. So now he develops his other bishop. What does this threaten? Well, pressure against my king now that he's going to start his plan. The downside is I'm not committed to this structure, this King's Indian structure. I can change it if I want. Right now I can just block off his bishop like this. It would open up his other bishop, so I don't see a need for that just yet. I'm going to just, what am I going to do? I'm going to develop my knight. I'm just trying to figure out which square. I'm going to go here. It seems like a nice square, supports c5, has potential to go to b6. If he ever pushes it, then it gets access to the c5 square, which is nice. So he just develops a knight. What does this threaten? Just control some squares in the center, no big deal. Drawback, kind of disconnects these two pawns so they don't support each other. But again, not the end of the world. I'm going to continue developing by improving my knight, getting it out of the way of my bishop, and attacking his bishop. So it's a tempo improvement move. So he moves his bishop back on this diagonal as opposed to here. And what does this mean? This means I might have possibilities of a5. What else does it mean? I could just go with the simple developing move to start. That seems reasonable enough. This weakens this square, so it's not necessary. I'm going to keep it simple and just develop my bishop here. The reason I've been delaying this, so you know, which I didn't mention, is that when he does stack and go here, I won't have wasted any time moving my bishop or castling. And so it's just I get all those tempi back if I don't move them. So he moves his knight to its most reasonable square. Doesn't really threaten anything, it's just a developing move. Maybe he'll castle that way, although I thought he wanted to pawn storm me, otherwise why f3 is a weird move. But anyway, it's my turn. Um, okay, at this point I'm just going to fianchetto because all my other minor pieces are developed, so I don't want to mess around. And now if he wants to do the battery, that's fine, because then I'll just start my pawn storm before he even gets his bishop here. And it's an interesting game. It's like I played up here, but I have this weird knight on b6 and I'm up a pawn. And so normally that pawn, which would be on e4, right, threatens to push e5, and then it's, you know, it's tricky. But here that never happens. So he tries to improve his knight. It can only go to e4, but that just facilitates trades. I don't see how it being too much of an advantage for him. I'm actually going to castle. It's the most reasonable move. I do want to play a5. Okay, so he castles, so he's not going to pawn storm me. So now I even have possibilities of pushing this pawn because his king's on this side, not his rook, which would be way scarier. So I can push either of my rook pawns, which is kind of funny. I can also push my c pawn, which is maybe more principled. But I want to push one of my rook pawns. I guess I'll start with this one. Let's gain a little space on the queen side, develop our rook a little bit. This one looks good too, though. I'll probably go here, but at least we gained some space, made some luft. It is a little weakening, but he'll weaken his own king if he ever tries to attack it. It's unnecessary though, but interesting. Okay, so he stops us. He stops us from pushing with his own. So we have a weak square here, he has a weak square there. We're not poised to take advantage of that with our knight and its placement. Okay. Very interesting. So, what to do? This bishop can't really improve it so easily. We could always thrust in the center, but that kind of... I don't like those games. Those are boring. I like the imbalance of the pawns. C5 again is still an idea. Maybe we just go for c5. Yeah, let's strike the center. It's the most principled thing. There's this huge weak square, but I'm not sure if it's gonna like amount to anything. And maybe that knight needs to watch the center is more important. Who's to say? Stockfish, that's who. But so now I have this typical dragon-like structure, but with a weird pawn on a5. But that's alright, because we're up a pawn. And if he takes, it may look a little funky. Opens up his bishop's scope. So takes, knight in, coordinating, as an example. Rook c8, stopping that. Queen out of the way. Queen b6. Although then this pawn hangs. So if takes, do I have any in-between moves? Not really. Okay, he doesn't take. He goes queen e2, putting pressure on the pawn and watching this diagonal. Maybe threatening to put like a rook here. That makes sense. I'm gonna put, okay, so what's the threat? Pressure on this pawn. What's the drawback? Undefends this pawn, right? So can I just take this? Now his knight's hanging, so he has to move his knight. He's gonna jump it in here probably, or here. Did this guy just hang a second central pawn? What is it with this guy? I mean, I'm not complaining, but how can you possibly do that? So he puts a knight in the center. It offers trades, but I'm going to ignore it for the time being and use this opportunity to get this knight in the game, put it in the center of the board, offering multiple ways to get the bishop pair from him. And if he takes this one, you can always just recapture here. You could also take the bishop and hit the queen. Interesting. Oh no, you're in check. Never mind. You have to take back. So here, you have to take back. Whatever. We got rid of our bad knight over here. Now he puts this knight in the center. We could take and it's an isolated pawn, but it would open his rook. I don't like opening up my opponent's pieces, so I'm going to ignore him. Now I want to improve this guy. This looks like a square, but the rook also looks pretty powerful here. There's also the queen development, which threatens this cheeky move, although he has this. Let's get another piece in the game. Let's get queen or rook. Let's get our queen so we can move our other rook. Okay, so let's get our queen in the game so we can put this rook here, because since we made this weird move with the pawn, we might just leave this rook here for the time being. Notice we undefended this pawn with our move, so we have to be careful. Currently, it would still be defended by the bishop. He moves his king out of the way to get rid of the discoveries, which makes sense. But I think I'm going to solidify this pawn chain like this. It looks weird. Might be bad because of the backwards D pawn, but might be good also. Hard to say with 2 minutes on my clock, so I'm just going to do it. Play dynamically. You could have just played on the C file, but I only have 2 minutes and I'm already going crazy. So he threatens this twice. So I'm just going to relieve the pressure. He takes with the pawn. Oh, I'm pinned. Lol. So let's get rid of that bad boy, since I'm up 2 pawns. Now I just neutralized all pressure on this diagonal. Finally improved my bishop. And if he trades, this pawn supports the center, as well as opens up my rook, so that's not good for him. Okay, so he solidifies the structure because his pawn was hanging with the queen, but who cares? I'm up everything. I'm going to bring my queen back, which hits this pawn, but more importantly supports this square, so I can double on the f-file. And the only pawn of mine that's hanging is this. So here, what's the best way to defend that? I guess I have to go like here. He can't add pressure. I still don't want my queen like pinned like that. It still looks weird, but I guess technically he can't do anything. He doesn't do that. He makes his queen into a pawn, which is insane. Oh, I see what he wants to do. Okay, so takes. Here takes queen, rook over, queen here. Whatever, it doesn't support it. Ah, you know what? That doesn't work then. So let me go here, because if I try to double, he'll take, and if I take with the queen, he supports his rook from that square, and then I have to move my queen, and then if I move my rook over, I have to retake with the king, not the bishop, not the queen. I know it's not a big deal, but whatever. There's no point in doing it either. Like, okay, so he takes, and now I take, but he doesn't go for this pawn. So now I'm just going to get rid of a pair of rooks to try to ease my conversion. Does it ease it? And now I'm going to try to trade the other pair to try to ease it. He has this move. Whoops. So if he takes my rook, okay, he doesn't see it. He wants me to take so he can support his pawn. I can't defend this pawn after that. That's messed up. That's messed up. So in that case, I don't think I can do this. Takes. How do I defend that pawn? I can't. I don't know if it matters, but since I only have a minute, I'm just going to go here. And here. And here. And here. That's my plan. Oops. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Oh my god, he's so dumb. I'm just gonna move it 1 square. And then I'm gonna continue with my plan. Okay, this guy's dumber than me, so this is awesome. Although oh, I hung a pawn. Oh no, I'm blundering everything. But I'm still up a pawn. And my center's kind of big. I have to stop blundering though. Lift this up so I'm unpinned. And now I can proceed with my plan. If he goes here, here, then I can't defend my B pawn. Oh man, I'm giving back everything. It's alright. Somehow in the mayhem and confusion. Oh, that's not it. No, he should have gone for the line I just said. Because now his rook takes away that square, and I'm threatening this, and now I have this. Right? Oh, but then this hangs. I have no idea what I'm doing, but with under a minute, I'm just going to make random moves and hope it works. Cheer me on from the sidelines. Okay. I need to get my rook active. I guess it's keeping his king tied down right now. Okay. Okay. No idea what I'm doing. Materials even. I'm gonna box my own king in. Sweet. Okay, everything's protected with this one. I have no choice. I have no choice. If he takes and I go here and he just goes here with this king. That's exactly my plan. Okay, let's go behind instead. Okay, now that's the pawn for me. Thank you. Okay, now I'm just trying. Now I'm trying to hold for a draw. That's lame. Maybe he'll mess up. I'm still gonna try to catch him. So now I think I'll start focusing. Oh, shh. Okay, so there's no mates because I have this square. Right? I mean, I'm going to take out this pawn. And then I'm going to take this pawn. Okay, so he has no winning. He just lost all of his winning chances that he had. Because he did have chances. I could have easily messed up. He's trying to checkmate me because I have 7 seconds. Look at this guy. Oh, I shouldn't have pre-moved. He could have mated me. Oh, this guy could have flagged me. He's so dumb. Oh my god. He could have flagged me so easily. So easily. But even worse, I lost the game. But we were completely winning. It's all you need to know. All you need to do is play a actual 1-hour game and not run out of time. And you can use this process and it works. It's not going to work in your 3-minute games unless you're a title player. It's not going to work in your 1-minute games unless you're a title player. If you're playing those fast time controls, you're just going to make random moves like what happens to me when I get below 3 minutes. So try to play as long of a game as possible so that you have like a reasonable amount of time to think. I mean, if it gets boring, then maybe chess isn't a game for you because that's what chess really is, right? If you have a shorter attention span, there's other games like all those phone games, you know, those people who play on their phone. It's ridiculous, but they're out there. You know who you are. Okay. Anyway, we didn't lose any rating points. In fact, fact. Okay, I didn't gain any either. Didn't gain any. Okay, but didn't lose any because I was higher rated. I thought maybe I gained like one. Anyway, submit your videos and we'll try to move a little faster in the next game.